Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, The Guided Intuitive. My name is Michelle. We're gonna do something new today, okay? I would like to I'm just recording this video because there was something that was so a cute little experience that happened to me yesterday that I wanted to share with you, my beautiful subscribers here, in hopes of passing it on, just as you would probably do to others, to expand our awareness in life, right, in personal development. So I'm going to share with you this story, and then I'm going to show you 4 lessons that I learned from it. So I actually jumped in my car to run some errands yesterday, and I got about a block away, and I noticed that there was this little bee that was on my windshield. And the poor little guy was completely tired, but I was just about ready to go onto the on-ramp onto the freeway. And I had about maybe 10 minutes, or excuse me, maybe about 8 minutes on the freeway or so. Knowing that bee was there, I didn't want to put the windshield wiper on. I didn't want to move it that way. I didn't want to smash it or anything like that. I think bees are so precious in the life cycle of nature. I'm very, I really focus in on that. It bothers me about that. That's just one of my things, and that's for me. Okay, you guys might, everyone's a little bit different, but for me, that's just how I roll. But with that being said, knowing that little guy was there, I went with traffic, did what I needed to do, but was apparent and being very cautious about this little guy. By the time I got off and then actually parked, that little guy held on for dear life, okay? But I knew, something told me, my intuition was telling me that this little guy had it in him, and was knowing that it was going to be a short jaunt, and it would stop for a moment, and then you would have some sort of reprieve after that, right? Because it's probably one of the reasons why it landed on my car in the first place, is to get a little bit of rest, I think. So with that being said, I thought I would go ahead and get off the freeway ramp and go to where I needed to go to, but not knowing that I thought I would make a little pit stop and go grab a coffee and get a little honey packet for the little guy, right? So I thought, so that's what I did. I actually just did this for him. And I said, if he's out there when I come back, with my coffee, great. But the only reason I stopped was actually to get a honey packet and then just, buy a coffee, to boot. Okay. So I thought, well, I'll just do that. So I grabbed a honey packet. I'm dripping it on my windshield for the little guy. And it took a little while, but then he went towards it and just totally, bathed in honey a little bit. I mean, didn't jump into the honey, but was reaching for it and doing what it needed to do to replenish its energy, right? It definitely needed to replenish some sort of energy there. And then I actually got to a block further away that I needed to go to, and the little guy was still there, and I just sat watching it, just in awe of just nature in itself, just the beauty of it, and just how ironic was it that the bee makes honey, and I had brought honey to it rather than it was just kind of interesting that way. So just before I ran my errand, I was just watching the windshield and just watching what it would do, through that whole process. I don't know, for some reason, I was just enthralled. I was just really focused on that little bee, hoping that it would be okay. I saw it pulling its leg a little bit, thinking it may have been injured of some sort, but it didn't. So it wasn't, I should say. So with that being said, in a few moments after it got its drink of honey, it took off, all right? Then I put the water and I cleaned off my windshield or whatever. But here's the 4 things that I learned from that story here that I thought would be helpful. Number 1 was to be strong. That little bee held on for dear life, okay? And I knew, for some reason it was telling me, I knew it had it in it. And I just knew, I says, hold on, little guy, we're going to stop shortly. And, it was just our little hour of time together, really, or almost an hour, I should say, that it spent, getting this guy kind of rejuvenated to go, but it just held on for dear life, which really goes to really remind us that at the times when we are completely exhausted, that we feel we can't go any further, to totally hold on, right? To hold on. That became, for some reason, it needed some sort of rest, but we were brought together for me to be enlightened, and it reminded me to continue to persevere on what it is that I want to do, whether it's a business, relationship, or goal. It just really tells me to persevere, and reminded me on how many times that when I did, at that last ditch effort, on how that made that difference, right? How that really made the difference rather than giving up. So a strong reminder is to be strong, right? Be strong, right? And the next thing I wanted to mention was also about being kind. I literally stopped for a moment, to help that bee out. I really stopped to get a honey pack, and I thought I'll get a coffee to boot, and that'll be cool. And then I was able to replenish someone that actually made the stuff that was in this packet, So this little guy made the honey in itself, and I was bringing that to it rather than it bringing that to me in that particular moment, right? It really needed some. So really be kind. Be kind. You don't know whatever kind action or gesture that you can do for someone that literally not only makes their day, but actually makes your day even more, which is what had happened to me. Okay. So the next thing that I learned, number 3, is to be love, being that vibration of love, giving that bee the sugar that it needed, that honey that it needed, right? And the love that it needed in that particular moment allowed it to be able to continue and revitalize itself, regenerate, and just transform its energy to be able to take care of itself and fly on to that next adventure, and whatever that is for it, but I felt so gratified, and I just felt so beautiful when it actually took off, because I thought, oh my gosh, we shared an experience together. It was just so cute, and a lot of you are saying, oh, Michelle, this is just a little bee. But it's just those little things in life that can really make a big difference. And I just had to share that with you. So be strong, be kind, be love, give someone some sugar or some honey that might not, have it, and who really, really needs it, right? Maybe it's a hug, anything of the sort, but that's a really strong reminder. And even if it's a hug to give yourself, right? So if you have to go definitely hug yourself, then definitely go do it, because this is all about love in itself. And you have to embody that to be able to attract it, right? And and that's what was happening there. The last thing that I wanted to share was to be you, to be the quirky person that you are, and how unique that you really are. Be you. I mean, in terms of saying and doing, just be you, and really know how unique you really are. I mean, let alone your thumbprint is very, very unique, but did you know that your voice is very unique, and how you, as the air goes through the vocal cords, it's unique to every single person in this world. Okay, so you would be denying the world your uniqueness if you weren't you, in things that you do, things that you say, right? So it was about really truly being you and who you are. So be strong, be kind, be love, and be you. And those were the reminders that I had yesterday through that little experience under an hour, but it was so insightful, I had to share with you. So note your comments below, guys. Let me know how this resonates with you, but it definitely moved me yesterday, and I always feel that it's important to pass it on. So I'm sending you lots of love and light. So be strong, be kind, be love, and be you. All right. Lots of love, guys. Namaste.